In this video, I'm going to show you how to remove and replace driver's rear upper control arm on a RAV4 located in the rear suspension. 21mm socket, and we are going to remove the tire. Now we can pull the tire off. 10mm socket, and I sprayed my two little mounting nuts on the brackets here for this harness because I don't want them to break. Here we go. Pull that out. One more down here, 10mm socket. Inner bolt on this upper control arm is a 17mm wrench, and I'm using a swivel socket, so I'm going to put my 17mm wrench right there. And then from below, with an extension, I'm going to put my socket on. I'm going to hold that wrench, and then I'm going to hit it. Take the nut out. I like to put a pry bar in between the upper of the knuckle and the lower pivot point for this forward control arm. Put my hand in, and I'm going to push and pull that bolt right out. And then I can let it down slowly. Now with a 17mm socket and a wrench, I'm going to hold the nut side, and I'm going to take the socket, take the bolt out. Okay, now we know the nut is off. We've got to find a way to pry this bolt out. Okay. So the bolt is frozen on the actual shank that's on this control arm. If I show you the new control arm, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this is the shank that goes between in the bushing and holds the bushing in. So the bolt is seized up inside there. So we're going to have to, if I hit the gun trigger, you'll see the bolt and that shank spinning. So that means it's seized up inside there. We have to, first I'm going to try heat and an air chisel to see if I can vibrate the rust free, and hopefully we can save that bolt. I'm going to heat up both sides, the bottom of the bolt and the head of the bolt. Okay. All right, so we've done our best, and now we know that the bolt is seized in here. We've tried heat, air chisel, so now I'm going to have to cut this bolt out and get the correct one ordered coming in. So if yours is like this, go ahead and cut it out, but pre-order the bolt because it has to be a special bolt. It is a suspension bolt. So now that I've cut that bolt out, we can pull that upper control arm up and out of the way. Install that. Now I'm going to install that inner bolt first before I put the part on the knuckle. I just think it's easier to manipulate it, or move it around, shall I say. So I'm going to put this bolt back through. Go. Put the nut on the back. I'm just going to hand tighten it I'm gonna run that ABS wire now, just to get it to stop moving around. This one goes there. Get the two nuts, mount those brackets. I'm just going to hand tighten them. There's no torque on these anyway, so once I just can snug them up real quick. Now, if you notice, this upper control arm bushing is a pivot bushing, and I want to angle it now while I can, get it to line up a little bit nicer while we try to put that in there. Now, in order to line up that upper control arm bolt into that knuckle, I'm going to need to push up on the suspension, at the same time be able to line it up. So the floor jack is the easiest way, I do believe. Now I've got to be able to push that in at the same time. So I'm wedging my pry bar in that knuckle like that, and I'm going to push inward and pull up on that control arm until I can get it to line up right. All right, so let's see if it goes through. Perfect. Now I'm going to install the nut. I'm going to leave that suspension jacked up to tighten that up. So we'll snug it up with a 17mm wrench and socket, and we'll torque it to factory specs. Now we're going to torque the upper control arm bolt to knuckle 66 foot-pounds, both with 17mm. Now that the outer part of that upper control arm is tightened, I raise the vehicle up so I can use a pull jack and bring, once again, this control arm to load level so I can tighten the inner part of that upper control arm. It's kind of a difficult spot to get to with that floor jack. It looks about right height. So 17mm socket and wrench. I'm going to torque this to the same 66 foot-pounds. Let's get that 17 wrench in there. Now we can lower it down. And start your lug nuts. And now we'll take our 21mm socket. We're not going to really reef on them, we're just going to bottom it out because we're going to torque it to the factory specs. That one right there, the threads are stretched a little bit. That's from over-tightening. We'll torque our wheels. That's with the 21mm socket, and the wheel torque is 76 foot-pounds. I'm going to do it in a crisscross or star pattern. Double check. When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.